Kia ora Year 9, here's video 3, working through the Foundation Algebra booklet from Mrs. Korb. So in this video, I'm hoping I'm going to finish off the 7 pages of booklet, but we'll see. First thing that we're going to look at is like terms again, because they are really, really important. And then 2 more things, multiplying terms, and then hopefully I'll get on to dividing terms. So dividing terms is definitely the skill that students in Year 9 Algebra who are working on foundation skills find the hardest. So just take it really slowly, and you might find you have to come back to this a few times and also use me when I'm back in school and Emma and Dr. Frost to help you. Cool. Okay, so let's get going on like terms. So the first one here is a page that I'd like you to try. So pause the video and have a go at doing this. This is what we were doing at the end of video 2. Remember, if the terms are like, right? So if they're the same kind of thing, then we can put them together. And again, we've got Mrs. Korb's lovely drawings of flowers and hearts and fried eggs. So I will do my best. Right, here we go. We've got 1 flower and another flower. So guess what? We end up with 2 flowers. In the next one, we've got 2 triangles and 3 triangles. So they are like terms. So altogether, 5 triangles. The next one, 6 fried eggs and 5 fried eggs. So we have 11 fried eggs. And then finally we get to one where we don't have all like terms. So we've got 5 hearts, and then we've got 2, which is not a like term. And then we're back to 2 more hearts. So these 2 can be combined. That gives me 7 hearts plus 2. And remember that we call 2 a constant, right? So that's just a fancy algebra word that means the number 2. Now, moving on to where we've got variables, this is what you're going to see more and more from now on. We've got x plus x, so that gives us 2x. 2y plus 3y gives us 5y. And then 5b plus 6b gives us 11b. Next up, we've got 5x plus 2x plus 2. So we've got 7x plus 2. Now, if you look at how we've done this, on this side, we've got it written with symbols. Right, so we've got a flower, and a flower is 2 flowers. Over here, we've got an x plus an x is equal to 2x. So the reason that you'll find that we've done this for everyone here, everyone on this side, we've got the equivalent on this side. On this side, we're using symbols, right? Which probably does feel like you're back in primary school where you're sorting things with blocks. What we're trying to do here is to show you that algebra is just not that hard, right? All we're doing over here is instead of the flower and the flower, we've got the x and the x. But it's exactly the same kind of idea. Here we've got 2 triangle blocks and 3 triangle blocks, right? Like when you were little at primary school. Over here, we've got 2 lots of y and 3 lots of y. Not that hard. It's just 5y. Okay, so 1 more page of like terms. We want you to look for the like terms. So try and do that page in the booklet. And I'm going to go through it now. So the like terms here, we've got an x and another x. That gives me 2x. Here we've got x, another x, and another x. They are all like terms, so we've got 3x. Here we've got y, 1y, 2y, 3y, 4y. Altogether, that gives me 4y. I'll just erase these. And in the next one, we've got 2y, 3y, and 4y. So the first thing we do when we're doing questions like this is we look to see if we've got like terms. 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9y. In this next one, we've got some x's. So 2 x's, 2x, plus another x, but then the y is not a like term. So we can put the x's together. We get 3x plus y. Number 6. Number 6, I've got 2d plus 3d, so they are like terms. They go together, and that gives me 5d. In this one here, 3a plus 2a are like terms, but the plus 4 is not a like term. So the 3a and the 2a go together. That gives me 5a plus 4. Now I'm just going to cheat and make this a wee bit bigger so I can write. Next one, 2a plus 2 plus a. So the a's are the like terms. We get 3a plus 2. Number 9, back to an easy one. N, and N. They're all like terms, so we've got 4n. Here, 3m and 7m, they are like terms, so we get 10m, 10a, 11a, and another a gives me 22a. Right, they're like terms. 9x plus another 1x gives me 10x. So that's those ones done. Okay, I think we're probably all feeling a little bit sick of like terms by now, but that'll do on those for starters. Oh no, there's one more page. You know what? I'm going to skip that page. You can do that, and we might mark that when I'm back at school. Okay, but enough with the like terms now. Let's move on to doing multiplying algebraic terms. Now, we kind of did this already in video 1, where we said we don't have the times sign, right? So when we multiply, the times sign goes away. So 4 times y is just 4y. Y times y will be y squared, just like when we had numbers. We had 3 times 3 in term 1, and we learned how to write that as 3 squared. I want you to do questions 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then pause the video and we'll mark them, and hold off on 8 and 9 for now. Okay, so a times n is an. 3 times b is equal to 3b. G times 5, right? So we can write this as, it looks like we might write it like G5, but we don't want to do that, right? We always put the number, the coefficient first. So the answer for this one has to be 5G. G times G is G squared. A times A is A squared. Okay, now these last two, we've got 2n times 2x. We could write that as 2 times n times 2 times x. And then we can see that we can times the numbers together first. So 2 2s are 4. So it's just going to be 4 times n times x. So 4nx. So we're going to times these numbers together. The same thing in the next one. 3 times x times 2 times y gives me 6 times x times y. Right, let's see what's coming next. Oh, this is a nice wee table that's in the booklet to just make you practice how we write multiplying the terms together. So pause the video and fill it out, and then I'm going to go through it. Okay, so some of it is just times table practice, and some of it's with x's. So 3 3s are 9. 3 times x will give me 3x. 3 times 2 will give me 6. 3 times y gives me 3y. 3 times 2c is one where we do the numbers first, so it's going to be 6c. I'm just going to keep going on it without all the talking. Okay, so mark as you go. X times 3, we write the 3 first, 3x. X times x, x squared, and so on. It goes like this. Right here, we've got 2 times 2c, which is 4c. Here, we've got y times 3, and we put the number first, so it's 3y. Here, we could do yx, or we could do xy. It doesn't matter, they're the same thing. Y times 2, write the number first. Y times y, y squared. Y times 2c, write the number first, and then we can do yc, or we can do 2cy. Okay? This next one, 2c times 3 is going to be 6c. 2c times x, 2cx. Here we've got 2 times 2c. We times the numbers first, 4c. 2c times y, 2cy. And lastly, we have 2c here times 2c here gives me 4c squared. Okay, hopefully that's gone well. Again, if you've got questions on that, that's one where you might want to ask me once I'm back at school. Right, now this one is getting a little bit trickier because we've put in some negative numbers. And so what you need to remember here is all the work we did last term on integers. So if we've got a positive number times a positive number, like 3 2s, that's just going to be another positive number. And if we've got a negative number times a negative number, like -3 times -2, that gives me a positive number, positive 6. If I've got one of each, I end up with a negative number. So in here, we've got 2 times -y. So that means 2 times -1, which gives me -2y. Here, -2, now that dot is another way to write a times sign. So -2 times x is -2x. -2 times -x is going to give me positive 2x. Again, this is getting a wee bit harder than foundation, but I think most of you should be up for it by now. So -y times -y is positive y times y, which is just y squared. A times -n is going to be -an, and here we've got 2b times -2b, which is -4b squared. Right, so remember we don't write the times, no times sign. Okay, what's next? Oh, now we have to go the other way and write it out what it means. Right, so we're putting the times signs back in. I think I'm going to skip this page. I'm just going to do a couple. This one here is going to be 5 times x times y times z, right? This one here, x squared y, is x times y. Okay, the last thing I'm going to start in this video is the hardest bit. It's working with fractions in algebra. Okay, so in here, we have to remember all the fraction stuff we did with numbers. And this is basically the same, right? So when we multiplied fractions, when we had 2/3 times 1/4, we multiplied the numerator, the top, and we multiplied the denominator. And then we had to simplify the fraction down. And we're going to do the same thing with algebra. Okay, so here 1 times x times the top, 1 times x is just x, times the bottom, 2 times 2 is 4. I can't simplify here, right? I've got x here and I've got 4 here. There's no common factor. Right, the next one, times the top, 2 times 2x, 4x, times the bottom, or the denominator, 3 5s are 15. Now let's have a good look at my numbers. Have I got a common factor here between 4 and 15? No, I haven't. So that's my final answer. Okay, now what about the next one? Well, if I times the top, I get 6. 3 2s are 6. And if I times the bottom, I've got 5 3s times, I think that's an a. So we've got 15a. Now this time, I can simplify because I've got a common factor of 3. So 3 watts are 6, 3 2s are 6, 3 watts are 15, 3 5s are 15. So we've got 2 over 5a, right? Definitely getting a bit harder than foundation. So just hang in there and we'll do lots of practice at these. 1 times y gives me y. And then here we've got 4 times 3, which is 12. Can't simplify. Okay? Right, a page for you to practice. So pause, give it a go, and I'll work through them. I've got 1 minute left. Okay, timesing the top line, I get 8. B times b is b squared. Here I get 7 5s are 35. Next one, b times 2b is 2b squared over 6. I've got a common factor of 2, so I'm not done here yet. I have to simplify. I've got 1b squared over 3, right? That's if I simplify the 2, divide by 2. But I never write the 1 in algebra, so I just write b squared over 3. Okay, guys, that is not a foundation question. It's not a unistructural one, but it is one that I think some of you who understood your fractions really well will be fine with. One last one, we've got 2x squared over 2, which is just equal to x squared. Right, so thank you for watching. Really good concentrating, and just keep on using those booklets. And look on Google Classroom for the Google Doc.